Hello, this is Stacy again with Simply Nutrition, and today we have a guest. We have Ms. Pamela Borcich. Pam, say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
The beautiful Pam. She is a mom and a grandma of two. She has two beautiful children, a boy and a girl, and the most gorgeous little grandchildren you've ever seen. They are squishy and wonderful. She is, aren't they?
Kissable.
Yes. And she is a founder, the founder and corporate trainer of Contours Express, where she helped women for years from 2002 to 2008. And she just has a heart to help women in the area of fitness and wellness. And that's why she's here today. She's an avid runner for as long as I have known her. She is, it doesn't matter if it's raining or what, well, it doesn't snow in Southern California, but if it was, she would be out there. She runs every day for over 45 years. She's been running. I think she started when she was 2. And that she's done 5 marathons, including the Boston Marathon. She is a business development manager for her company, her and her husband's company, which is Bixby Knowles Mortgage. And she is a hard worker. I have been her friend and we used to be colleagues, and she's amazing. And let's see, she's been there. Gosh, how long is that? You've been doing that?
Over 32 years, I think.
32 years, yeah.
And we just won Best of Long Beach again, which was a surprise for us.
Yes.
We had no idea we were even nominated.
They were nominated and won without her even knowing, which is
I had no
fabulous. And let's see what else. Together we used to run a Bixby Knowles broker tour. We started that, and that was, we did that for almost 10 years. So we've been friends a long time, been through a lot. We always see eye to eye when it comes to nutrition and wellness. And she has a great handle on the fitness side and just balancing her life. She doesn't do wellness. Wellness is just part of who she is. So I just brought her on today to ask her some questions so that we could learn from her and gain some wisdom on how to be healthier, which is the goal of this podcast. So with that, go ahead, Pam, you're on.
I'm just going to say I feel very honored and, whoops, I'm frozen again. Honored and such a privilege to know you, call you my friend, watch you through your wonderful journey. And I'm just so proud of you. And it just makes me so happy to see you achieving your dreams. I'm sorry.
Pam.
Frozen again.
Pam is actually, if you look at my phone, she's called Pam the Fabulous. That is her name. So that tells you anything about her. All right, and we've got some questions here. So let's see.
Sure.
What have we got? Richard, you got us some questions on there.
You have a lot.
Yes, I won't ask all of them. We'll play it by ear. So first of all, can you share some tips just in general for maintaining a healthy, I know that's a very general question, but for maintaining a healthy lifestyle?
That is such a great question. And there are so many variables with that. I think what people maybe need to take into consideration that they have to make an appointment with themselves. Just like you do the doctor, just like you go for your checkups, your blood tests, to make sure that everything is, the way it needs to be.
Right.
And no excuses. I have mornings where I wake up and I go, do I really need to do this? And then I say, stop it. Right?
Yes. I love my pillow. It's a problem.
I
love my pillow.
It's like that for everybody,
Yes. Yeah.
An alarm goes off and you go, gosh, dang it.
Yeah.
Right.
So what if you could say with that, if you had some motivators, what would you tell? I like to tell people when you're struggling with discipline, look not at being more disciplined, but look at strengthen your vision, right? Because if the things you want to do on the earth before you leave require wellness, and let those whys really motivate you.
I do agree with that. And also remember how you feel when you're done.
Yeah.
the dopamines and endorphins,
All
and
the
you
good
feel like
stuff.
you're ready to take on the world. Yeah.
Right, right. You're never upset when you leave the gym. Like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that today.
Oh,
So,
I've never seen an angry person that works out.
right. I love remember Legally Blonde, that movie?
Oh,
And she's like, he could have committed murder. She does that, or she was a aerobics instructor, right? Or something. She had a video and she said she just possibly, because people that exercise have endorphins and they're just happy. So
they are.
I thought
And
that
I've
was
never
good.
met an angry runner or I just have never seen that, because I
Right.
think you end up thinking, thank you, for this
Right.
beautiful day. Yeah.
So what would you tell someone if they were struggling in consistency with being active, and not necessarily workouts, because I'm a big proponent of the blue zones and incorporating more activity in your everyday life, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, parking further away when you go to the grocery store. I do I tell my clients, do when you're brushing your teeth, do cat phrases, or sit in squat, a wall squat while you're doing it. So what are some of the things that you would tell people to keep motivated and consistent?
It's interesting, Stacey, when I had Contours Express and I had over 250 clients that I worked with, you see the same people coming in, and they'd be working whatever, and they'd come in. I say, I'm so proud of you for committed to your health and your lifestyle. You make it a habit, right?
Yeah.
So Cindy, my friend, who I did a 10-mile hike this morning.
Oh, that's right. Today, she did a 10-mile hike today before being here.
And mind you, she really coerced me to do that, because I only wanted to do 5. And she says, but it's overcast. So am I going to go 20 because it's overcast? I don't think so. And I'm paying for it now, trust me. She wanted me to bring up that when her mother was having issues physically and she was not doing well and kind of deteriorating, and she was 88,
Okay.
had a stroke, Cindy became very depressed. And she became kind of a recluse. And I would call her and see how she's doing and all of that. And she didn't want to exercise. She didn't want to do any. I'm frozen again.
Okay.
She didn't want to do anything at all. And I don't know if we've all been in that place where we've had those struggles in our lives,
Right.
And I told Cindy, I said, you know what, honey? Do you like podcasts? Do you like, and at that time, I think it was Dr. Laura or something. And I said, put some podcasts on and just go out. Just walk around the block. Just once. Just walk around the block. And listen to a podcast or listen to something that you enjoy. This was like years ago. And she said she can't thank me enough for saying that.
Oh, I love that.
Now it's a lifestyle for her. And I said, honey, I can say anything I want to you. It has to come from within.
Yeah.
So
always.
That if you can find something that you enjoy doing, you can garden, it doesn't have to be walking or hiking, or it can be anything you want it to be.
It's
Exercise
physical.
is anything you want it to be. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But do something that you enjoy.
Right.
That's not a chore, something that you enjoy. Just move.
Dance, move. Yeah.
Turn on Alexa.
Turn on Alexa. Sometimes I dance. Yes, I dance and laugh at myself. That's probably my favorite exercise. So
absolutely agree. Yeah. I love that.
All right, let's see. What's another? Okay, so how do you mentioned music, and when you run, are you a podcaster? Are you a music? Or are you getting your zone in your head?
I do with my podcast. So
okay.
I'm a crime junkie person. So I listen to Crime Junkie. I love Ashley Flowers. She's wonderful. And so I listen to all of the Crime Junkie stories. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I think you remember you telling me that. Yeah, for sure.
Mysteries, haunted things. I love all that stuff. It's just different.
So let's see. Next thing I thought of, I know you have kids, and I love because you'll always tell me what you feed them. when you have the opportunity, when you have an opportunity to impart health into their lives. And I know that can be difficult, but as, what do they call you? What do your grandkids call you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, yeah. How could I forget? So,
Oh
what
my
does
gosh.
ya do
Yeah, yeah.
to really impart health or create patterns for them and the next generation? I know your daughter, she's really health. I know she's got that same health consciousness as you. But some ideas, maybe if there's some moms out there and they're struggling because their kids want sugar and want junk and creative ideas, or how do you make that happen?
You know what's interesting, Stacey, and I love social media for this? You can go on, and there are so many people that say, "Oh, try this." My kids weren't eating this, or they're incorporating so much vegetables. You can do it in spaghetti sauce. You can
Right.
do it anywhere. And I make these banana peanut butter dark chocolate muffins
Oh,
that
yum.
just absolutely loves, and she's getting all this protein. She has no idea. You can
Right,
do
right.
protein powders that you can add now to things. And the dark chocolate is super, super good for your heart.
Antioxidants. Yeah, yeah.
With all the antioxidants and everything. And just, try. And then, like I said, we didn't have this back in the day.
Right.
So I made baby food, from scratch. We would just take our food and just put it in a blender and give it to our kids.
That's good.
But it's a blessing to have all
More
of the
resources.
resources today.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's hard because my 30-year-old son
Mhm.
is not like that at all. So it's a tug of war. But I
Right.
do dinners every night. So healthy dinners every night.
Okay.
So
Okay.
at least that works.
Oh,
That
you're a
works.
good woman. You're a good
I try.
woman.
I try. Oh my gosh. The
That's
job.
great. It's a
It's all good.
job. Yes. Yes.
You know that. You do the same thing.
Yeah, yes. My raising children days are behind me, but yeah, yeah. He's a
But your
healthy eater, so
husband,
thank goodness. Yes,
yes,
and then my husband, he's pretty
yes.
healthy eater. He
I
likes
love that.
he likes some
It's a
things.
lifestyle. Just a
Yeah,
lifestyle. You feel so
definitely.
good and you feel better.
Yeah. Let's see with that. Oh, I wanted to just in that, I wanted to just give a plug because I one thing I learned that was so helpful to me is when you're looking for information, when you really want to make sure it's good information, there's PubMed. I just want to give a plug for PubMed is a database that people can look up. So just listeners, that's for you. PubMed is a research evidence-based database where if you want to look up information and it's actual hard studies, there's some peer reviews where people are reviewing the studies, but it's just a nice little place. Or you can even go to Google Scholar, which I had no idea existed up until a few years ago. Google Scholar is another place to get hard evidence-based information. And I say
I
that
love
because
that. I just wrote that down. That's perfect.
I was so grateful to learn that because there's
Love that.
so much information out there and it's great to
I
have all that
know.
information, but you want to make sure it's evidence-based and science grounded and all that stuff. So those are two
Absolutely.
little
That's great resources. Thank you.
resources. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, fun stuff. That's my thing. I always try to do evidence-based on stuff. And what
Of
else?
course. And there's always
Um,
new information coming out all the time.
all the time. Yeah,
All
and
the
sometimes it conflicts. So then you're like, okay, need to see the studies behind things and make sure they don't have
Agreed.
biases and
Yes.
funding. Who's funding it? So on PubMed, they have to share like who funded the study and all that stuff.
Oh,
Sometimes
I love
even,
that.
yeah, because you can get, oh, well, it's funded by the company that's making the money. So,
Yeah.
and granted, they can still be legit. Sometimes you'll have that, and it's still a fair study. I mean, it's still unbiased
Of course.
in what they're
Of course. No, I
saying.
like that. I like that. I just wrote it down. I'm going to check that out tonight.
So, I know you're a busy lady. You're in that corporate, crazy busy world. How do you? I work with a lot of clients that are busy life, and that's why I came out of. So I like to meet them where they're at. Like, okay, how can you? Where's the fast food? You can get a pollo loco, and you can get some broccoli and beans, and there's different places and things to do when you're on the fly and you're busy. How do you find a balance between taking care of yourself and self-care, taking care of others, which is in high, you're in high demand. And then you've got a business that you run. So just maybe one or two tips on balancing all of that mentally, emotionally, physically, any of the above.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I get up early.
So share that. Like share kind of your day or like a morning routine, if you don't mind sharing that, or just how do you bookend your day in a sense?
I just get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I go out and exercise first, because if I don't, I tried waiting until the end of the day. And then at the end of the day, you're going,
I'm tired.
Don't think so.
Right.
So I find, and this may not work for everybody, and I don't know if this works for you, is getting up early, getting it done. Then coming back, and then having breakfast. And I make, breakfast for Ivy and lunch for Ivy. And then she's off at school. And then it's work, or it's running errands, or it's, I don't know, paying bills. It's like doing everything, And then at the end of the day, then it's making dinner, and it's, kind of restful time and maybe game time, just something kind of fun. So I think that when you get it out of the way, so you make no excuses for yourself. Because I did find that I started doing that when it was at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah. If I don't do it, something will steal it away. Something will encroach upon it and become more important. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I made that commitment to myself and I didn't keep it. Yeah.
Well, because you guys have a busy schedule with your singing, being as talented as you guys are.
Thanks.
And your business that you run.
Right.
And everything else that you do. It's the same, but like I said, I think just getting it out of the way is probably the best. Yeah. Then there's no excuses at all.
That's good. And mental health. I know for me, I'm a big yoga because it calms. I tend to run really high in cortisol. And so it kind of brings that cortisol level down. And that's another thing is people finding what works for them. What exercise works for them. Because just even the blood type, which, there's not a ton of science-based evidence on blood type diet, but different blood types, like O's, they need to go run. Like that makes them feel wonderful. And everyone gets endorphins from running, but O's need that high intensity, hit cardio, spin, whatever's going to just and then you've got your A blood types that are they run high in cortisol and they need more of I need to calm my system. I need Tai Chi and yoga. And that's what brings me kind of peace of mind as opposed to, I love going for a run, but it depends. You got to, like you said, the best exercise is the one you do. So finding what you actually enjoy and like is really good.
Then you'll stick with it. And then you can make it a lifestyle.
Right.
And then once you start feeling better, then you start saying, do I want to eat that?
Right.
It's kind of like, gee, do I want that potato chips or do I want that processed stuff?
After I just work so hard. Yeah. Yeah,
and
for sure.
The body goes, I don't want that.
Yeah. They always say 80. Well, I know science wise, it's 70 to 80% is diet and the other is 20% exercise.
Agreed.
But I think with that, sometimes stepping out in the exercise, if you're struggling to do the food side, stepping out in exercise will kind of stir that food side. Like you said, because you're already working so hard. You're like, why would I sabotage my efforts with a big old, I'd say Frappuccino, but I don't know. Can I say, Richard, Frappuccino? So I don't know if I can do names.
I would script on that one. I do like that.
Filter that. We want Starbucks to sponsor us. It probably won't be a health sponsor.
But you also have to reward yourself too.
There's a balance. Yes, definitely. And if you're eating, I always say if you're eating 80% of the time, you're eating clean, well, and good and living foods, then you're going to be fine with that. The weekend warriors, and you have okay, it's my cheat day or whatever. I don't like to call it cheat day, but just that choosing what you might really want to have. Um,
Yes,
but you
having
do
some freedom.
find you want it less, like that.
Yes,
Your little
100%.
microbes actually desire those little in your tummy, the little microbe guys. The more you feed them garbage, the more they produce. The more the garbage wanting ones produce. And you know that because when you start going, oh, it's Christmas time and I'm eating sugar, and then you start craving sugar and junk more, and it's like, what is going on? And
That
why,
is
wine,
so
you have a glass of wine and you want more wine, and then you go the direction of health and you do a cleanse or a detox or even just start doing more veggies, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, like an apple tastes really good. Where when you're eating the garbage, you sugar, it's like, oh, apple's so boring. So your taste buds, they think it's every 11 days you get a new set of taste buds. And then, we get new cells constantly. So it's like we can reinvent what we want, what we like by
And
choosing
isn't
well.
it your hypothalamus? So when
Yes.
you like a hamburger or you eat some fatty something, the hypothalamus, it's like crack, right?
Oh,
It's like
yeah. Yeah. Fat. Well,
that,
certain fats have how they affect the brain and how they affect the gut, which your gut health is your brain health, right? So we're seeing I saw a thing the other day for jobs in mental health, and it was like, it had skyrocketed. And mental health, there's a lot of attributes. I'm not going to say it's only a diet, obviously, thing, but diet definitely plays a huge part in mental
yeah,
health. Huge
100%.
part. Because that's our second brain and the gut brain axis. And so it's like, heal your gut, take your probiotics, and just feed yourself more living good foods. And it can really, like exercise, it changes your mood dramatically.
Huge, huge.
Yeah.
I agree. Then you don't have the highs and the lows.
Yeah, more of a
Everything
that's
more
stable.
stable throughout the day.
Yeah,
Agreed.
right.
And then you don't take it out on your husband and the kids.
Yeah, that's good. My husband's in the studio next door, so yeah, I
Oh, you have
know.
to tell Brian hi.
And he's a patient. He's a patient man. All right, so let's see. How are we on time, Richard? We're doing okay. So let's see. Another question. A couple other ones I had for you. Shaped,
Good lot.
what shaped I know your dad had a very positive influence on your life, and, I'm sure mom too, but I know where did that come from? I know Pam was a model, and she was a movie star, and she was actually on Johnny Carson. She was on the Love Boats. Yeah, we should show that footage. We tag that footage in. It's great. She's in a bathing suit and she's fabulous. And she's actively modeling and doing all kinds of commercials and stuff. And she's super humble about it. She'll never tell you about it, which I love. But with that, I'm sure that world, that's what I was going to talk about, is what really shaped your your desire to take care of yourself first, and then second. I know there's women out there. I know I was one of them, and I know you've always built me up with words and encouragement. And so a big part of a weight loss or weight journey or weight gain, all of it, a lot of it has to do with self-esteem. That's why I'm in this, changed into careers and went into this field. But the self-esteem element and the self-worth and self-value, that sometimes people don't care for themselves because of those deeper issues. So anything you can speak to that? First of all, where you were shaped into, what shaped you into having a desire to treat yourself well? I guess I would say.
I know that you had that down as a question, and I can't pinpoint the inherent feeling for that.
Okay.
My grandfather, which I told you was in the Olympics, so he threw the javelin
I love
and
that.
Amsterdam in 38.
Okay.
My dad was a javelin thrower also.
Okay.
We've had a very athletic family growing up. My older brother was a great baseball player.
Okay.
Younger brother also did javelin. I was a runner. So my dad would come in after these long jogs, and he'd be sweating profusely. This is before I started running.
Okay.
And he'd say, I kissed you, I'm going to kiss you. And I go, no, that's gross.
Uh-huh.
And then he'd sit in the chair, and he just, had this big smile on his face, and he was sweating profusely. And I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking, how can you like sweat like that with a smile on your face? I remember him feeling so good.
I love that. That's great. That's great.
That's where I think that's when I had an epiphany.
Okay.
I just thought, you know what? If it makes him feel good,
I gotta try that.
I have to try that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's better than drinking. It's better than doing drugs. It's better than,
Yeah.
And so that, I think, is when I had the epiphany of, and it had nothing to do with my industry. The industry, it had nothing to do with any of that. It just had to do with me. It just had to do with how I wanted to feel.
I love
and
that.
I saw my dad, who was such a great role model for that. And
That's great.
He is the one that started me on that path.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
Good. How about advice? What's that?
Oh, I just was saying that's where that came from.
Yeah,
I don't
like that.
I don't even think I thought about. I mean, there's always issues in the family. There's always issues, because I told you about my brother. And all of the things that take place. But I think that was also an escape for me.
Okay.
So that I had some peace. I had a little bit of peace.
Okay.
So I think a lot of times people take up exercise so that it kind of gives them a break from whatever's going on in their lives, because nobody's life is perfect.
Right.
And I think that might have been a instigator for that.
Something that was your own.
That was my peace, my space.
That's good.
Yeah. And I think what saved me a lot mentally from mental things. Yeah.
That's good. It's great that was your choice. I mean,
yes,
like you said, there's alternative choices that are not health producing.
No, not at all.
That's awesome.
And sometimes people take that, but they haven't done the other. So they don't really have.
They don't know that there's a good feeling coming from doing something that's not destructive. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Right. Because the payoff's much better.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's where that came from.
Nice. That's good. How are we doing, Richard? I'm going to ask Richard because we're still new. Are we hitting like a 30 mark? Okay. Well, we're going to wrap. Yes, that was it. We're going to wrap this up. And next time, maybe we'll hit on some of the self-esteem and just, I know that you have a lot of wisdom for, for women and just empowering women to be strong.
Well, you as well, Stacy. You're absolutely for this, and I couldn't pick anybody else that's better for it. So
good.
You have found your place.
I get to talk a lot, and that's me. I'm just kidding.
Help the world.
Yes, help others. Yes, that is good.
For your heart is. You've always had such a beautiful heart, sweetheart.
Thanks,
beautiful
Pam.
Inside and out. I just love
you. Great.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wonderful to see you.
You too. You too. All right, listeners. That is Pam Borcich, and she is Pam the Fabulous. And thank you for joining us today on this health journey. We hope you stay with us, stay curious, stay well-fed, and until next time, this is Stacy Pothier along with Pam Borcich bidding you good health. Enjoy your meal.
Bye, everybody.